Hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on this webinar. My name is Isha. I'm the lifestyle editor at Elle. And today I'll be moderating this webinar on a topic that is very relevant and very relatable for a lot of women. It's about managing period pain. Now, while getting a period regularly is a healthy sign. It comes with its own set of issues, and one of the most common issues is going through excruciating menstrual cramps and period pains. This is something that really affects our daily routine, especially when it comes to your professional output. I can talk from my own personal experience and say that when I am on my period, I can't do much on the first 2 days, and I feel like I can't move at all. And just sorry, 1 minute, we're having a little technical issue. Yeah, all good now. Sorry about that. So like I was saying, when I'm on my period for the first 2 days, I can't move. I feel like I can't work. And even as per statistics, it is a proven fact that it hampers our output by 50%. And this can be quite frustrating, for women who go through this every month. And managing period pain can significantly enhance productivity, empowering women to reclaim those lost 2 days every month. And that's why today we are going to talk about period pain management with the help of our esteemed panelists in association with Saridon Women. I would like to introduce to you our first panelist, Dr. Mitali Rathod, aka Dr. Uterus. She is an obstetrician, a gynecologist, and a content creator. And our second panelist today is Mr. Sandeep Verma. He's the country head for India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka at Bayer Consumer Health Division. Um, Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sandeep and Dr. Mitali. Before I proceed, I'd just like to say that we're keeping a Q&A session towards the end of our webinar, so would request you to put in any questions that you have in the last 10 or 15 minutes of our webinar. Okay, so let's begin. My first question is to you, Dr. Mitali. Um, as a gynac and content creator, you talk a lot about menstrual hygiene and educate people about period pain. What are some of the common queries you get with respect to period pain?
Okay, so first things first, we have kind of normalized the period cramps, right? Like the intensity of it, and we will be like draining ourselves out till the end of the day. So the most common questions that I guess get asked are, is this normal? If I have to exercise during my first, second, third day of my periods, what if I am losing my iron and calcium while menstruating? I am not able to move out of bed and I have to roll myself, under the blanket. So is this something that is considered as normal? So regarding the intensity of cramps, I do get so many questions asked.
All right. And Mr. Sandeep, my next question is for you. Um, People fail to cognize that period pain management is a crucial aspect of overall wellness and self care. What is your message to counter this misjudgment?
Look, I think let's look at the bigness of the situation here. Okay, as a country, okay, we are amongst the top five economies of the world. We aspire to become, or we aspire to get into the top three economies in the next 3 to 4 years. We have the largest workforce in the world and also the youngest workforce in the world. And half of this workforce, or a very significant portion of this workforce, is women. Yeah, and these women, like you were saying earlier, on an average, we figured out go through at least 2 full days of period pain where they're not able to, perform as well or be as productive as they're required to be. So imagine that's the kind of productive workforce that you're losing as a country every single month. So obviously, this is an issue which has to be tackled and has to be taken very, very seriously.
That's right. I agree with you. Thank you for your response. Mitali, coming back to you, could you help us with some tips and techniques for managing period pain that you personally rely on?
Okay, so first things first, we have to understand that this is just like any other normal physiological activity. like eating, drinking, peeing, pooping, sneezing, just like that. So we have to acknowledge it and take some rest, take some time out for ourselves. The, in the internet, that is very famous saying that you have to light some candles and indulge into self-care. Trust me, the real self-care begins from here, like taking some time out for yourself, sleeping for a while, having your three proper meals, balanced meals, and then acknowledging and asking for help. Like, you do not have to suffer yourself, you do not have to suffer in silence.
All right, thank you. Sandeep, again, I have another question for you. Um, we'd like to understand more about Saridon women medications. We're sure people have a lot of questions about the safety and efficacy of Saridon women. So, could you please elaborate on that?
Yeah, sure. I think the first thing that all of us acknowledge and all of us are aware of is the fact that Saridon as a brand has been in this country for over 50 plus years. It's been the leading headache brand in this nation, and serving the Indians for over 50 odd years. And hence, anything that comes from the house of Saridon would be, would need to carry that equity and that kind of reputation. So when we made Saridon Women, the first thing that we obviously figured out was the big need in the market. Yeah, and I think like we've just discussed over the last 5 7 minutes, the fact that half of this country's population, okay, or half of this country's population between the age groups of, let's say, 15 to 40 45, uh, goes through this pain every single month on month, year after year, was something that was very stark and very surprising for us. The fact that there is no solution available for this. The fact that it is something which, like Dr. Mitali was saying, is so normalized that people don't even talk about it, or they don't want to talk about it. And also the fact that there was this big need which was there in the market was very apparent to us, even in the first few hours of our consumer work. First few hours, like for the first 3 or 4 women we met, it was clear that, look, the more women we talk to about this particular problem, this particular issue, the we will pretty much get the same answers, because the challenge was so stark. So when you spoke to women, the three things they spoke about, the three things or the three desirables they spoke about with a product like this, the first one was obviously safety. The first one was that we need a product which is very safe. The second one was obviously efficacy. We need a product that is effective, because I'm going to be eating it, or I'm going to be having to take it regularly over a period of time. It has to be effective and safe. And the third thing, or the third desirable, was something which works a little fast. So I don't have to, take it and then, wait for a long period of time, because we are literally talking to women in the prime of their productive life. Isha, somebody like you, Dr. Mitali, somebody like you're talking to women in the age group 20 to 40. This is the age group. This is the time when you are at your productive best, absolutely at your productive best. And any obstacle to this level of productivity that you want to perform at needs to be taken care of. So we've when we crafted this product, Side on Women, we took care of these three desirable. So it is one of the safest products available in the market globally. We have a molecule called hyoscine, which is derived from plant. It is a molecule which is registered in over 80 countries across the globe and has been in use for almost like half a century again. So it's a molecule available in many countries across the globe, in Europe, etc. Is known to be efficacious. It's derived from a plant, and it is also recommended by various world bodies for treating spasmodic pains, etc. So that's the first molecule, and the second key molecule in this is paracetamol. We're all aware of paracetamol. We're all aware of the fact that it's the first line of treatment for mild to moderate pain, recommended by World Health Organization. So a combination of these two products is what goes inside Saridon Woman. The tried and tested paracetamol and the naturally derived molecule hyoscine. So it is definitely safe, it is definitely efficacious, and it starts to work in 5 minutes. So that's what we have in a slightly circuitous way, I hope I've given you the answer. But that's what we have in Saridon Women for you.
Wow, that's, I think, something that's really interesting, because we often have, we often have a little queries, or doubts about taking certain medications. Sometimes, especially when it comes to women and their hormones, there are, you always have these kind of doubts in your head. So thank you for clearing that out. Dr. Mitali, I will come back to you now. I would like to understand, does family history indicate an increased chance of experiencing period pain?
Actually, it doesn't, but it is in our mental conditioning that, oh, my mother had these kind of cramps when she was menstruating, so there are high chances that I might also get it. Like my Mossy was passing through this horrible amount of period cramps while she was having hers, so I also might going to have the similar sort of a pain. So it's not just physical, anatomical, or physiological, but psychological component that gets added upon while we are looking on to when we are looking up to our elders.
Do you think there's any other reason why, some women go through such immense period pain?
Can you repeat that again?
Is there any other reason? I mean, do you know why women actually go through such immense period pain, especially on the first 2 days? And can you tell us a little more on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, high degree of inflammation is the most common cause behind those period cramps, and high levels of inflammatory prostaglandins. Sometimes, because of lifestyle factors, poor sleeping patterns, sedentary lifestyle, poor eating habits, magnesium and omega 3 deficiencies, that can also lead to extreme period cramps. And not to forget the endometriosis, fibroids, adenomyosis, and the anatomical conditions of reproductive tract.
All right. So, do you then recommend people to take more of these supplements when they feel like that on their period?
So it's not just about taking supplements only while we are on our periods. What we do on rest of the 25 days of our cycle, that is also very, very important.
All right. Ms. Sandeep, back to you. Can you explain how this innovative approach by Saradon Women fills the gap in the OTC market, providing women with new, reliable options for managing their period pain?
Okay, let me first give you a sense of what is currently available out there. What is currently available out there are your normal painkillers. If you have a headache, you may take head painkiller, painkiller for headaches. If you have a body ache, you take one for body ache. You don't have any product which is designed specifically for this cause, designed specifically to take care of the symptoms of period pain as such. So, in the market, currently there is nothing which is only meant for this. There are a couple of options, there are a few options which are meant for very severe pain, and some women take those options as well. So there are those kind of options, but because of some concerns that women have on the safety aspects of those products, they are also not very widely used as such. So it's pretty much I would say a blank canvas as far as this specific problem solution is concerned. So we are introducing something for the first time in the Indian market. Like I said earlier, this specific molecule hyoscine is available in almost 80 countries across the globe. So it is available in some of the markets outside. But in the Indian market, we are bringing it by combining it with paracetamol for the first time. And we believe, hence, that it's the completely new product as such in the Indian markets, which means that the challenges we will have to overcome, or the big question marks that we will have to face, are the ones that you were just asking earlier. Is this safe? Is this efficacious? Etc. Yeah, so it does. I would say it sets a new paradigm in the OTC market today by crafting something meant for period pain. A topic which is, I don't know for what reason, still considered a taboo in the Indian society to even talk about. So I think it's going to be a game changer, hopefully, and hopefully we can we can try and give some relief to some of the women out there who have to suffer through this particular problem every single month, month on month. So we are very excited, but it's a, like I said, it's a bit of a landmark product in the OTC market today.
All right. Thank you for your response. I'm definitely gonna be trying this, trying the new Saridon Women. I know I'm someone who goes through a lot of pain during the first 2 days of my period, and I definitely need to rely something. A lot of times, home remedies don't even work for me, and I do need to rely on something that will actually give me some sort of relief and let me just go on with my day. And I'm sure that's also the case for a lot of women, especially the women who are hustlers today, who are on the go, and they need that kind of relief to just go on with their days. So thank you for clarifying all of that. Dr. Mitali, I'm coming back to you. What, according to you, are some of the lifestyle changes we can adopt alongside medication to reduce the pain or completely get rid of the pain?
Yeah, so first things first, I would like to put so much pressure and emphasis on this one thing, which is sleeping on time and waking up on time. Okay, if our sleep is not on point, no amount of supplements, medications, nothing is going to work. Second thing is that we have to make sure that we are incorporating at least 20 to 30 minutes of active exercises that will help us with proper metabolism, proper hormonal health, rest, recovery, muscle building, and all of it. Third thing is that we have to make sure that we are taking a well balanced diet in terms of consuming proper amount of proteins, carbohydrates, vegetables, fruits, and at the same time cut down on the amount of sugar that we are consuming and the outside fried processed foods. So these three are my top goals.
All right. Okay. Thank you for giving all those tips to us. Um, we have actually now come towards the end of our webinar, and I would now like to open the floor for questions from people. So, guys, if you all have any questions around period pain, about Saridon, please feel free to ask both Mr. Sandeep and Dr. Mitali, and they're here to clear all your doubts about this. We've also been getting a lot of good comments saying this is very informative. Uh, okay, we have one question. Sandeep, what age group can people consume? Can women consume Saladon women? At what age group?
So, as we mentioned on the pack, this is age group 12 plus. I mean, we all know that periods happen a little earlier these days. So this is as safe as that. So we can you can consume it as soon as you start having your periods. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Mitali, a question has come for you. What are the food items we should avoid during our periods?
ओके सो बिंज ईटिंग के नाम पे हम कुछ भी कर रहे हैं लाइक ईटिंग टू मच ऑफ पेस्ट्रीज एंड बेक्ड गुड्स एंड टू मैनी chocolates and fried foods and just relying upon Zomato and Swiggy for our period cravings. So rather than that, we have to make sure that we are buying and meal prepping every single thing that we will be requiring during our painful days.
Thank you, Dr. Mitali.
Isha, I just wanted to say something on Dr. Medali's point. I mean, a funny thing which I actually saw on one of the food delivery platforms. I saw an
Yeah.
ad on a food. I won't name which one, which said that this now enjoy this dessert at a 15% discount with your period pains. It
Oh
actually they
wow.
were actually advertising desserts and giving a 15% discount and actually encouraging something that Dr. Medali just said you should not do.
But is that a myth? Do desserts really help? Like, is that a myth?
So, sugar cravings are going to be there, but we have to differentiate how we should eat and how we can make it and pair it up with our diet so that it can considered be as a balanced meal. So, just like relying upon pastries and just choco lava for our period cramps, that is not the best solution. That is not the best thing we can do for our bodies.
All right. Okay. I will just go. I mean, I'm getting a lot of questions now, which is great. So I'm just going to go and ask ahead. Um, okay. During period days, there are hormonal changes. Does such a product like Saridon Women have any alteration to the period cycle?
No, it has no such. We have this is a very highly tested product. Okay, clinical tests which were done in India. So this is not one of those products where you rely on on just the research which is done abroad. We've tested in India. We've done a post marketing study where the physicians tested the impact of this product on women as such. So it's a very highly tested product, and we are very confident of its safety profile overall. Over 90% of the women actually said that this has a good to excellent removal of pain and the cramps post usage of this product. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We also have another question for Dr. Mitali. Should exercises be curtailed or have a different, or should we have a different exercise regime when on your periods?
Absolutely 100% yes. So, prior our periods and during our bleeding days, there is going to be a major hormonal shift that happens. Okay, so when during our first, second, and third day of our periods, our reproductive or sex hormones are at its lowest, which is why it is advisable that if we feel a lot of cramps and if we are not feeling really good energetically, we should probably rest it out. If we
Okay.
feel little amount of energy and if we are feeling good inside our body, we can probably indulge into some yoga exercises, particularly yin yoga, vinyasa flow, and hip opener kind of a yoga. And if nothing works, I think indulging into 10 to 15 minutes of walks, that is brilliantly enough.
All right. Thank you, Mitali. Um, Sandeep, there's also a question on what is the maximum recommended dosage of Saradon women?
I won't be able to tell you offhand, but it's all put on the pack.
Okay.
So just buy the pack first, then you, you can read it at the back of the pack.
All right. Mitali, is yoga good to practice during one's periods?
Absolutely, absolutely. Hip opener yoga and yin yoga does wonders.
All right. Thank you. I am just going to check for more questions.
Just to add on the question which somebody asked before, and Isha, the nature of this product is such that it is meant you can take it for regular usage. That's the whole intent. Some of the big challenge with any period pain remedy in the past, and I spoke to you about a couple of other products which are there, which are also very efficacious, but you can't take them regularly because the safety profile is a little wonky. I
Yeah.
think the whole beauty of this product is that you can take them on a regular basis because they are so safe as such. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only thing I want to add to this question.
And it's okay to take them every month whenever you're on your period.
Yes,
All right.
yes. I mean, it's a product meant for just that.
Yeah.
It's like I
Yeah.
said, there is nothing available. And if you go to a chemist right now and you ask them, "Can you give me a product for period pain?" He'll be surprised. He'll be stumped for an answer. He'll probably give you a painkiller because there is nothing which is available as such. You have some pads, heating pads, etc., hot water
Yeah.
bottle. That's what he's going to give you. But there's nothing which is available in this form at all, this convenient form at all.
All right. And Mitali, there's another question. What can someone do if neither the medication nor home remedies or anything works?
Okay, so let's say out of the intensity of 10, if my period cramps are standing at 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, I have seen those patients. So, into which we really need to dig deeper and find out the underlying cause. Either it could be ovarian cysts, hemorrhagic ovarian cysts, endometriosis, uterine fibroids, or adenomyosis. So that requires bio individual approach. So we need to visit the doctor and get ourselves examined. The pelvic examination as well as the ultrasound is going to find out the root cause and then we can fix that.
All right. Thank you. And someone has asked if ice cream helps at all.
No, I mean
You
it
you
does
can
make
say
us
yes.
feel really good.
Just Just be nice and just say, yeah, maybe.
Any specific diet that helps to reduce the pain that someone should consciously follow for the maybe the first 2 days or during the cycle?
Okay, so if we talk about cravings, maybe we can indulge into ginger lemon tea, that is 110% going to help. Second
Okay.
is going to be consuming dark chocolate, like 75% or more, that will also help. And be it we are consuming breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we have.
I think we lost Dr. Mitali.
Yeah, I think there's a little technical glitch. Oh yeah, she's, she's back
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I don't know. I was having some issues with my Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry for inconvenience.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah, yeah. So we have to make sure that we are prioritizing our three basic meals, be it a breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It should contains adequate amount of vegetables that will provide us with all the necessary nutrients and fibers, and then pair it up with good source of protein. So if we are targeting at least 20 to 30 grams of protein with every single meal, we won't be having such cravings or sugar cravings to be precise.
Isha, you're on mute now.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. There's another question on Saridon women. Is it okay to take them along with your other regular medication that you take?
Yes, but I would always advise you to check with your healthcare practitioner once. Always best
Okay.
to check. If you are in any doubt, always best to check with the doctor.
All right. Okay. I am just going to check for more questions. Guys, we have a little time remaining. Y'all can send more questions if you'll have any. There is one more question for Dr. Mitali that's come in. It said don't consume curd or cold things during the period. Is that true?
No, that is not true. We can consume char or pickle, cold foods, fermented foods also.
Are there any other myths, Dr. Mitali, around the kind of food that you're supposed to have during the period? I think there's a technical issue again. We'll just wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Hello? Yeah,
Yes.
hi. Yes, can you hear
Uh,
me?
yes. Yes.
Yes, I will repeat my question. I asked, are there any other myths around the kind of food that people should eat or avoid during their period?
Okay, so most of the women are relying upon their, binge eating and cravings. So I would advise that rather than that, you just batch prepare few meals. Okay, so that will be helpful. And second thing is that please do not consider this food delivery apps as your last resort.
That's a good one. I think I will keep that in mind for myself. Sandeep, another question on Saradon women. How long after taking the tablet does the effect start kicking in?
So the tablet is designed to start working in 5 minutes, and that is one of our biggest promises, biggest claims on the product. Like I said, the consumers want three things from this. On the top is safety. They want something which is safe. So that's the first thing that we've taken care of. Second one was efficacy, is that it should work. It should eventually stop. And the third thing, which every single Indian likes, with whenever they have any kind of pain, is that it should start working immediately. So that is not possible. But this product does start working in 5 minutes. And that's a promise on Saridon Women, and that's a promise that we have for core Saridon as well, pain for your headaches and all. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to take
Uh,
care. I mean, if you're talking about productivity, you can't have a product which itself is not very fast on its own productivity, right? So if you're trying to resolve the issue of productivity, a product which itself is high on speed together.
all right. Thank you. Dr. Mitali, some people are colder when they are on their period than on other days. Any reason why?
If somebody has consumed certain inflammatory food groups all throughout their cycle, or because of high inflammation during their period days, they are going to have feeling vomiting, persistent diarrhea. So because we are losing lot of fluids as well as we are losing our menstrual blood, so that make them feel little bit colder than their usual days. So that's the only reason. Otherwise, it's just subjective. It's a subjective feeling.
All right. And someone else has also asked if it's okay to take multivitamins when you're on your period.
Why just on our period days? We have to prioritize our nutrition and our lifestyle when we are not on our periods as well, right?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
See, one of the big myths in general is that that you need to stop everything, everything. That
Yeah.
itself, and
Yeah.
the more I hear some of these questions, Isha and Dr. Mitali, the more I feel that there is seems to be a bigger session that we need to do just around the myths
Myths. Yeah.
on
That's
period
it. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
things to be done. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think there
But
is
it's
too much
but
of
that's why we need to normalize this conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's so much of information that's available today, for people to consume that a lot of these questions arise from that. So I guess you're right. We'll probably just have to do another session on just myth busting. I am going to check for more questions.
You know, the weirdest myth I have heard around periods is that if you are going to touch a plant, that plant will go die. If you are going to touch cereals, that cereal is going to get bad. If you are going to touch a snake during your periods, that snake will die. Can you
Oh my
believe that?
God. Wow. Wow. I guess there's a lot of maybe there's also a lot of misinformation, that's doing the rounds about all of this. Someone has asked, is 25 to 26 days period cycle normal?
Yeah, 28 to 37 days cycles are considered as pretty much normal, regular. If we are having certain lifestyle modifications, like let's say if I have gone to travel somewhere, some new place, some new environment which I'm adopting to, I have passed through certain emotional conditions. If I have incorporated new diet or if I have recently joined gym, then 1 week of variation, either 1 week early periods or 1 week delayed periods, those are considered as very normal.
Okay, and there's another question on skincare. Any specific skincare regime when you are on your period that people should follow?
So just applying a normal cleanser, washing it at least twice a day, applying proper moisturizer and sunscreen. That would be it. इससे ज़्यादा करने की किसी में हिम्मत नहीं होगी. You ask me.
And actually, I after reading this question, I have a question. What about acne that comes just before your period? Because that's a very common thing. That
Yeah.
also is. I mean, when that happens to me, I see it as a sign that I know I'm gonna get my period now. So
Yeah.
what do you do about that?
Okay, so we have to start taking care of our lifestyle. Like we have to take care of our PMS cravings and binge eating that we are doing during our PMS days. So that is the first thing. Second thing is that we can probably switch to certain skincare actives like salicylic acid or certain spot correcting acne gels or something like that. Plus, lot of moisturization, drinking adequate water, and consuming balanced diet, that will be helpful.
Okay, thank you. I will definitely try to implement that. Might be a little difficult to stop the binge eating because those cravings just kick in, but I think slowly and steadily change my lifestyle for sure. Okay, I'm gonna wait for a minute and a minute or
Yeah.
two to see if we get more questions. Mitali, another question has come for you actually. Do you consume any pain medication when you get period pain?
Okay, so out of the intensity of 10, 0 is considered as there is no pain, and 10 is considered as high intensity period cramps. I get period cramps of 1 to 2 intensity, which is why I do not consume any pain relief medications. God
All
has
right.
been really kind. Prior that, I used to consume round the clock medications like on a 6 hourly basis during my post graduation days. But now that I have proper hang on my lifestyle modifications, I do not get such hard period cramps.
So does the pain reduce maybe with age or over time, or is that something that depends from person to person?
That depends from personal person to person, and that is highly dependent upon the lifestyle that you are leading. What you are going to do on rest 25 days of the cycle, that has so much to say on how much cramps that you are going to have when your bleeding is there.
Isha,
Okay.
just to add here, like Dr. Mithali is saying, depends on person to person. And but in the study that we had done amongst this age group of women, we spoke to women in the age group of 20 to 40, and what we at least figured out was that almost 80 to 85% of the women were experiencing severe spasms and discomfort. So it is
Okay.
rare to find people who are not having severe spasms and discomfort during periods, and not the other way around.
Yeah.
So it's a very unfortunately very normal thing, and 3 out of 4 women, even have many other distressing symptoms like fatigue. You have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, backache, headache.
Correct.
You
Yeah.
name it. So
Yeah.
it's I'm not sure about the other countries, but at least in India, it's a very normal thing to have these kind of distressing
Yeah.
symptoms.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying that there is no reason for us to live with these symptoms. There is no reason for half of the population of this country to suffer through this. So make the lifestyle changes that Dr. Mithali is talking about for sure, 100%. And over a period of time, completely get rid of it. That would be the end goal for sure.
Right.
Okay, but on this journey, you don't have to suffer that pain. That's a big message here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, there are a lot of other issues that come in. It's not just the pain. It is you do feel the nausea. You do. I mean, I know there have been times where my stomach also does get upset, and that's very normal. I've spoken to multiple women about this, and they also go through the same thing. Does Saridon actually is it only something that will help with the pain, or does it also then take care of the other issues that also come during your period?
It 100% takes care of the headache, the back
Okay.
pain, the stomach cramps, and that's the part where hyoscine comes into the picture. It is basically an antispasmodic medication, and it has been recommended by the World Gastroenterology Organization as the medication for this. So, not in India, but abroad. I mean, in so many other countries abroad, you get hyoscine separately also as an antispasmodic medication. We have brought it together with paracetamol, which takes care of your headache and your other, slight backache, etc. And together, the combination ensures that most of the pains that you go through at this point in time, including bloating, are taken care of.
Okay, so when all your even bloating, inflammation, all of that gets taken care of with the medication. Okay,
Yeah.
lovely. I think we're done with the questionnaire. Where I think almost all our questions have been answered. I will still wait for maybe a minute or two. We have 5 minutes left for the session to end, and I will see if there are any more questions coming in.
I think the other while you wait for the question, the other point which I wanted to highlight in all such discussions, where we talk about enhancing productivity of women, or where we talk about women productivity, etc.
Yes,
We somehow keep forgetting about the homemakers. We sometimes don't even consider them as a part of the workforce. But fact of the matter is that homemakers are also a productive workforce of this nation, right? So this product, this medication, and this whole thing of period pain and taking care of period pain is as relevant to the homemakers as it is to the women who work in the offices or go outside to
of
work.
course, of
Even they
course.
have the same challenges. They have the same. They need to be there at their productive best also. right?
Of course, that's right. That's right. Absolutely right. Uh, Someone has asked, does stress impact our period?
Absolutely. Stress has impacts on every single system of our body, right? Not just the reproductive system, but every single system like cardiovascular, nervous, every system of the body. Even the digestion also gets impaired because of stress.
Okay, all right. Um, yes, I think we're answered almost all the questions that have been asked. Uh, yeah, there's someone has asked Sandeep, beyond the pack, where can we find more information about the product?
Okay, that's a good question. We do have the Saridon Women page. We have a social media profile. We will be putting up a lot more information over there also. But yeah, I think we probably need to do a little bit more. Having gone through this session now and having heard some of the questions which are coming up, I think the size of the problem or the size of the of the issue or the myths which right now exist seem to indicate very clearly to us that we need to do a lot more to educate the people, educate the women out there. So we will definitely come up with, firstly we'll come up with more such sessions, and secondly
Yeah.
we'll make more information available out there for people so that they're getting the completely correct information, and all the myths and doubts are getting cleared. So I think currently we are still in the process of building it up, but I think a lot more needs to be done. And like I said, this is the first product of its kind, so we will learn as we go along.
All right, thank you so much. I think that's the end of this webinar. I would like to thank both Dr. Mitali and Mr. Sandeep for coming, taking out the time and, coming to the webinar and talking about how we can manage a period pain. Because I think the idea is that how we can transform a period of pain to a period of relief. That's something that we're all looking for. And I would like to thank everyone for joining in and asking their questions. It got really interactive towards the end, which was really interesting. I mean, we had some amazing questions that we all, addressed and discussed. So thank you so much, and please have a great day ahead.